Welcome back to WagerTalk.com. I'm Marco D'Angelo, joined in studio. We've got our normal partner in crime, Bryan Leonard, and we got a new face this week, and we're welcoming aboard Ralph Michaels of Cal Sports. He's joining the WagerTalk team. We're going to have more about that later. Let's get into football. It's the real thing, guys. I mean, we've been waiting all year, and I said when we were sitting in the lobby, I look forward to college football every year. You get all excited, but it's also like being a kid going back to school, because I know I have no life for the next 9 months with football and basketball. Summer is officially over starting tomorrow, guys.
It doesn't have to be like Halloween either. You don't have to eat all your candy in one night. I know it's the first week. Just don't get too excited. You got a long way to go.
Well, we're going to kick it off with a Friday night game, guys. Ralph, we got Kansas State going to play Stanford, and Stanford's a team, a lot of people are on the bandwagon with them this year. A lot of people felt they got jilted last year, that they should have had a shot at the national championship playoff. They had a game that cost them earlier in the season. We'll talk about that and see if that has anything to play into this year getting out of the gate. I know, Bryan, you had a futures bet on them last year. And Christian McCaffrey, and I know you're a guy that's, involved in the Heisman voting and stuff. I thought he should have been the Heisman Trophy winner last year, myself personally. I don't think there was a player that meant more to a team than he did last year.
No question, but again, you're on the West Coast. He was number 2 in every region except the West region. And when you're comparing yourself to an SEC player who's on national TV every week, it's going to be one hellacious performance season-wide that you need to get there.
Stanford. This is the first time in years that you got to look and say there's somebody different under center. We've had Andrew Luck, then you had Kevin Hogan. I mean, to have that stability as long as they had at Stanford, is it a problem? But it's nice to have the security blanket of a Christian McCaffrey in the backfield.
This is a game where I look at it and I love the matchups. You talk about a Stanford offensive line, 310 pounds, 3.5 starters back, and they're playing a Kansas State D-line, 4-man front, averages under 270 pounds. Remember, Kansas State's D has to prepare for the Big 12. What do they do in the Big 12? They throw the ball. This D-line is not set up to play the run game. Last year, Kansas State allowed 5.0 yards per carry against Power 5 teams. Stanford, against Power 5 teams in conference only, averaged 5.5 yards per carry. I see this as one of the best mismatches of week 1. And I think the ground game, doesn't matter who's quarterbacking, if you could run for over 5 yards per carry.
Yeah, that'll always help a quarterback if you can run. Bryan, we know, Coach Bill Snyder, I mean, he's been a legend at Kansas State. And when the knee-jerk reaction, you look and you see this many points with the Kansas State team, because they're not a team that's ever going to beat themselves. They're well coached. They're always, lead the country with, each year fewest penalties and such. And they were efficient last year when they got into the red zone. 55 trips into the red zone last year. They put points up on the board 52 out of 55 times in the red zone, one of the tops in the nation last year. Your thoughts?
Yeah, this is going to be a different type of Kansas State team. Snyder likes to bring in the guys that are seasoned in the junior colleges ranked, but he came out and he said that this could be his youngest team he's ever had. He's got 4 freshmen and 8 sophomores that are expected to start here. 2 of those freshmen are on the offensive line, which makes his point, Ralph's point, even better with the defense being so tough there, and then you got 2 freshmen on the offensive line.
Guys, we got to wrap this one up. Well, if you had to play this one, we're looking right now, we're taping on Wednesday, this game's Friday. Current line right now, I'm seeing 14.5s around town, a total of 48.5. We did see a nice drop in both the game total, the over-under, and what Stanford's laying here. You guys have any opinion on this one?
I do. I like Stanford. Shaw, 9-4 home favorite. Last year, opening game, they went to Northwestern. They lost. They have this game focused. They have a bye week on deck. Everything is turned into this Friday night game. And Kansas State only outgained 3 opponents last year. They were outgained by 119 yards per game. I'm not as high on them this year.
Yeah, I make Stanford only 14 here, but when you add up all the intangibles, I know that defense for Stanford last year was very young. They do have some younger guys taking the spots of the older guys, which you always like to see, and they don't have any freshmen at all starting. I like Stanford here, even though my line doesn't say it. The matchup's favorite.
Yeah, I get my numbers. I have Stanford by 17, so we're all leaning the same way. And boy, with the size of us three, all leaning one way, boy, we're tipping the
Look out
scales.
below.
All right, guys, good stuff. Hey, this weekend, you want to save $10 at WagerTalk? Well, we got a coupon for you. Use coupon code. Hey, we got a new guy in the house. We're going to make a coupon after him. Ralph and the number 10. That's Ralph and the number 10. You'll save $10 on any package this weekend at WagerTalk.com. You can always use that on the weekend all access as well. Check it out, WagerTalk.com. We'll be back with more.